a very dear friend of mine and a great well-wisher of channel, Mr. Sunil Dsouza, Managing Director and CEO of TATA Consumer Product, joins us now. Sunil, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I was hoping to have you in our studio and maybe serve you a warm cup of Tata Coffee, the new range which you've started to celebrate a birthday. And here you're joining us from your office.
No, thanks, Nikunj. I would have loved to join you, but yeah, circumstances. First of all, congratulations to you and the entire 80Now team on the 14th anniversary. I think you guys have come a long way and lead the whole sector. And congratulations.
Thank you very much for that, Sunil. And Tata Consumer, I must say, under leadership has pretty much really reinvented itself, both in terms of shareholder return, brand, and also the kind of product pipeline which is there. So, Sunil, last 2 quarters have been challenging and exciting. One side, there was this sticky inflation, which had an impact on FY23 financials. But on the other side, there was a huge product and a focus and renewed focus by Tata Consumer on new product lines and new categories, which has made all the difference. How will FY24 be different from FY23?
Nikunj, I cannot comment on how the macroeconomics, etc. turn out. All I can say is, see, last year, as you mentioned, was an eventful year. We've never seen so many moving parts on the macroeconomic front, and we had to deal with it. Whether it is in India, it's in international, whether it's in our foods business, where cost of brine went up, in the tea business, where you have droughts and floods and supply went up and down, prices went up and down, unprecedented inflation in the international markets, and we had to put corrective actions in place. What I can say is we remain extremely focused on executing the strategy that we have laid out for ourselves, becoming a large food and beverage player and later on branching into FMCG. 6 very, very clear pillars, focusing on the core with distribution, innovation, and brand building. Driving our digital and innovation quotient, that's number 2. Number 3, focus on synergies and costs. Number 4 is building the talent and organization for the future. Number 5 is inorganic and organic opportunities. And number 6, of course, building a sustainable business. I think across the board, the team is making rapid progress on all these points. Whether it's in distribution, where we had made a public commitment 3 years back that we will hit 4 million numeric reach by September 23. We crossed 3.8 in March. Whether we said we'll drive innovation, we moved from 0.8 to 3.2% of sales. Brand building, we've upped our spends. We've expanded categories. We've 3 acquisitions, Soulful, Nourishco, and Tata Smart Foods. All in all, I think we're in a pretty good place. All that the team needs to do to deliver FY24 is focus on executing the base strategic pillars that we've defined for ourselves.
Sunil, the fact that Tata Consumer was talking to Bisleri, again, something which is in the public domain, it means that you want to grow via the inorganic route as well. Now that the Bisleri acquisition has not worked, how would you be pursuing your inorganic plans?
So Nikunj, yes, we had been talking to Bisleri, and I think we put out a notice out to SEBI saying that we have stopped discussions. And like I said, I mean, we want to become a large food and beverage company first and then venture into larger FMCG. We will do this both organically and inorganically. And when I say inorganically, we've clearly defined the entire food and beverage space as of today, where we want to play, which are the categories that we will focus on: size, margin, competitive intensity, our ability to create value, our R&D, our distribution, marketing capabilities. And therefore also define the spaces which we will grow inorganically. And the reasons for that is either time, energy, effort to grow in those spaces. Organically will be very tough. So at any point of time, we remain in discussions with at least 3 or 4 different opportunities across the place. But as we've always mentioned, we will never be in a hurry. We will make sure that we will create value both from a strategic point as well as a financial point. So unless we find all these boxes getting ticked, we will not make a move. But when we make a move, remember, we've got about 3,000 crores of cash on our books. Balance sheet is very strong. So if we see value, we will not hesitate to make a move.
Sunil, we've been interacting and we've been trying to understand from you that when will your numbers in terms of return ratios, they would be par with industry. And when I say par with industry, I'm comparing that with HUL or for that matter, even Nestle, because Tata is a big brand. Do you think it will take minimum 3 years before you are in the same range in terms of return ratios with, let's say, an HUL or Nestle?
So Nikunj, I wouldn't comment on the exact time and date, but we remain extremely conscious of the fact that from a return ratio perspective, we are at probably the bottom of the heap on the FMCG space. And every year the target is to make certain moves to try to catch up, whether it is in EBITDA percentages, whether it is in ROC, free cash flow, etc. I think those base execution pieces we've nailed. I think the key lies on making sure that we continue to drive the top line while managing costs very tightly to make sure that we drive the EBITDA, grow the EBITDA far, far in excess of the top line, thereby starting improve the return ratios. Every year you will start to see improvements. Yes, last year was an abnormality because, like I said, there were too many moving parts in the outer environment for us to tackle. But I think given the stable, now again, fingers crossed, as of now, stable environment, I do think you will start seeing those numbers moving up. Extremely conscious of that.
Just scratching that point further, last year, if I had it right, your margins were close to 13 to 14%. So what could it look like this year? Could it reach the high teen levels given inflation has petered, commodity prices, as you talked about, are favorable?
So, like I said, I would never try to forecast the future. All I can say is right now, I see a stable operating environment, whether it's on the cost front, inflation, demand seems to be coming back, especially on the India front. On the international front, we've taken significant actions, whether it is in pricing, whether it is in structural costs, to put the businesses back on track. And like we've always maintained, international should be accretive to the whole portfolio. So various moving pieces put in play, focus is on executing them. I'll repeat, the whole idea is to make sure we hold costs tight and drive the top line so that the margins at the bottom line continue to expand.
To make this question slightly descriptive, Sunil, for the benefit of our viewers, what Tata Consumer has done is that they've taken very serious cost initiatives in the global business, in the India business. They've rebooted the entire distribution strategy. They've changed the way how the supply chain moves, both for the customer and also for their supply chain. But Sunil, there would be a threshold beyond which efficiency will not kick in. There were inefficiencies. 3 years you've taken a tough decision to weed out those inefficiencies. But then you would reach a point beyond which the incremental changes may not really translate into great margins. How far are you away from reaching that threshold of maximum productivity?
So, Nikunj, you're absolutely right. I mean, you cannot continuously cut costs and hope to improve your return profiles, right? But I do think in Tata Consumer, given today, there is still a lot of space. Just to give you examples, right now we're in the middle of an NCLT process on Tata Coffee and the international legal entities collapsing. We're targeting to move from 45 to 25 entities. When that happens, there is one more round of synergies which will come in. I do think there is still some more efficiency in our current supply chain to squeeze out. But you're right. I mean, after a point in time, you have to grow the top line, and growing the top line, we will be expanding. We've got a core base of tea and salt. We've got significant growth opportunities already charted out, whether it is Tata Sampann, Soulful, Nourishco. Nourishco has grown more than 3 times in 3 years. Sampann, we've maintained 30% growth continuously, at least for some time now. Soulful doubled itself last year. We are looking at other inorganic opportunities. So organically and inorganically, the top line has to grow. We have to expand our playing field. We have to make moves organically and inorganically to grow beyond just the cost pieces on the return profiles.
You know, Sunil, it's almost asking who's the favorite child for a parent, but say in the next 5 to 10 years, which of your businesses would you be most bullish on?
So this is, we've always maintained that the single biggest opportunity for us is in India Foods. Incidentally, as of last year, India Foods is now bigger than my international business, and we started significantly from a lower base out there. So India Foods is where the opportunity is. It's a huge, huge playground. We've got every right to succeed as we get into categories which are large, where there are trust deficits, margins are decent, We've got the ability to make R&D and differentiated products. Distribution is a huge strength for us, and we are still not done expanding distribution, both in terms of width as well as depth. You will start seeing significant moves on that piece as well. So yeah, India Foods is the big player. Salt, mid to high single digits volume growth, and a couple of points on that with the premiumization. Sampan 30% plus, Soulful huge growth, and more to come.
There's a report in the Times of India that you are looking at, or you're one of the bidders who's looking at acquiring the company Capital Foods stroke the Ching's brand. It's not my report, it's the Economic Times report. You can say yes, no comments.
So, Nikunj, as I've mentioned, we will continue to look at all organic and inorganic opportunities. We are always in discussion with multiple opportunities out there, and anything and everything that happens in the Indian space. The good part is because we've got the Tata name with us, always lands up on our table and we give it a hard look.
My question is that in your 3 to 5 year roadmap of growth, acquiring a company, is that something which is a necessity, or you are likely to grow, or your plan does not include any big acquisition strategy?
So, Nikunj, I would separate it into two pieces. I think the plans that are laid out on an annual basis, operating plans, etc., do not factor in inorganic growth. The team has to grow the base businesses which they have with distribution, innovation, marketing, R&D, differentiation, all those pieces. That is a given. Over and above that, as I mentioned, because we want to grow far faster, we are always look at inorganic spaces, clearly identified, clearly creating value. If we see our ability to create value, for example, Soulful, right? 15,000 outlets, strong brand, strong team. It's now north of 300,000 outlets, expanded from breakfast cereals into masala oats. And you'll see probably one launch every 3-4 months from now on, as we take the base millets strength of Soulful and expand beyond, right? And propel it on a different. So we've really created value with Soulful. So things like this, if there is an opportunity, we will not shy away from it.
Sunil, just wanted to scratch the point further when you talked about the beverage space, which is looking quite exciting. Could you talk to us about what's the way forward there? Because there's a lot of competition when it comes to the coffee space. A lot of new brands have entered India. What's your take of how the beverage part of your business is likely to grow?
So beverage parts, I would separate it into two pieces. One is packaged beverages and one is ready to drink beverages. Packaged, I think on the tea front, it's a neck to neck, race with our close competitor. The idea is we need to continue to expand distribution, branding, etc. in that space, and we're on a pretty strong footing. Coffee, I think we've got a long way to go. We're still, I would say, low single digit market share. There's no reason why we shouldn't be a high single digit market share, given the fact that we've got the backing of Tata Coffee with plantations, extractions, etc. And we've got a front end which can execute, and we've got the Tata Coffee brand name, which is very strong. So that's the packaged beverages space. Tea, I would say, again, will grow probably mid to high single digits, volume plus a few points of premiumization. Coffee, I think you'll see significant double-digit growth. On the ready-to-drink beverages is where we are most bullish. Like I said, Narishco, which we acquired 180 crores in May 2020, is now 620 crores as of March. And this year we're gunning for 1,000 crores. We've expanded. We've got about 40 plants now. We cover about 75%, 80% of the country. Geographically, we've still not ramped up distribution in all those spaces. We've expanded our portfolio from Gluco Plus to Copper. We've launched juice and jelly, which has been a hit. We've launched Fruski, which has been a hit. We've just put out to drink cold coffee. So both portfolio and geographic expansion will play a key part in this. We're very clear. We're picking up spaces where we think we can succeed. You are absolutely right about the competitive intensity. We just want to make sure that we are playing in spaces where we can make a difference.
Question. You were talking to Bisleri, it's an Indian brand. various companies are talking to Capital Foods, that's again an Indian company. Can I say that whatever acquisitions you would do, they would be in India and they will not be outside India, and you would be very conscious of that?
So, Nikunj, right now we are focused on and making sure that if we get something, it could possibly have legs in international. For example, the reason why we acquired Smart Foods was because there is a huge opportunity in the international market, especially the US, Canada, etc. But yeah, you're right. Right now, the expansions are happening in India, but I would wait and watch. Again, the key is not A or B. It's about making sure that whatever we will do passes the strategic and financial filters, and we are able to create value.
I get a sense that you're close to something. Maybe you're not spilling your beans, but I respect that. But I get a sense you're close to something. Final question. Tata Coffee is going to be part of Tata Consumer. But when will Starbucks move out of Tata Consumer as a separate entity or as a subsidiary? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years?
So, Nikunj, all I'd say is we're very happy with the Starbucks business for now. It crossed 1,000 crores last year, 300 plus stores. The target is to add close to 100 stores this year. We've got a great operating system. We've got a great team. We've got two partners who think alike, both of whom are bullish about the country. We have the ability to make the tweaks to appeal to the Indian consumer. So it's firing on all cylinders as of now.
I don't know if you've been asked this question ever, but I'm quite curious. What do you have to say about competition? I mean, everything from an ITC, Nestle, Patanjali. I know it's not an apple-to-apple comparison, but who do you think is your closest competitor?
We've got, different businesses, different competitors because we are in different. So, ready to drink is a different set of competitors. Tea is a different set of competitors. The foods business, all the companies that you mentioned are competitors in very specific places that we play in. The whole idea is that is why we operate as different categories. India packaged beverages operates as a category. India ready to drink operates as a category. India foods operates as a separate category. So they are very, very clearly focused on category by category competitive space and making sure that they are creating winning propositions.
I ask you today, final question, that how does your day start? You would say it starts with a Tata tea, coffee or tea. But I want to know that how did your day start when you were not with the Tata group?
So my day normally starts with a coffee, irrespective. It's just that today it's definitely a cup of Tata coffee. And then through the day, I graduate to tea.
Your day starts with ET now. That would have been a good, lovely answer for a birthday.
It does.
Coffee, Tata Coffee and ET now.
Yes, Tata Coffee and ET now.
Okay, Sunil, we won't grill you more. Let you go on that note. Thank you so much for taking the time out and joining in, on our celebration day. And glad that you've been part of ET Now's entire journey. Thank you so much for that as well.
Thank you. My pleasure.